Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. Practice rolls on in training camp. What do you got? This guy's still cutting loose. Ain't no way around that. This dude's coming on and not getting enough credit for what's going on right now. And this dynamic duo, I don't know, man. It could be epic. We're going to get into it all tonight on RGR Football. Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. Nice to see you guys. It's your Q&A show here on RGR Football. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. We are going to run through your questions all night long on Chiefs Kingdom, the NFL, the whole 9 yards. You can find us everywhere. Dan's over on TDN. We're both on NFL 33. Obviously, Rogue APC. You can find us all. Get with Dan on Twitter as well. Hopefully, we'll have some new stuff coming for you. We're going to talk a little bit about what the changes are, what the epic things are before we get to your questions, because kind of a fun play today, Dan. Quad pass, is that what we're calling that? This guy, who looks just all get out, threw a pass that looked actually pretty dang good.
Well, yeah, he is an ex-quarterback, right? Like they used it a little bit like that at Florida. He played quarterback in high school. It was actually a little bit of quarterback at Florida. So being able to do some of the different things that he, I guess, brings to the table gives you more options, but it does feel like they're trying to do everything they can to get him involved because at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like he's not going to be on this roster.
Yeah, they're giving him plenty of options of things to contribute to the team, and in the end, the more you can do, the more you can do. You guys, if you would hit the like and hit the sub for us, that'd be great. Welcome in all you new fans. This is where we run down your questions. And I just wanted to get my thought of the day out there, and Dan's nice enough to just kind of roll with me. So we got a lot of new things coming for you this year. We are going to get into your questions here very, very shortly. But before we do, I want to give you a heads up from our newest sponsor. They are Autograph. And this is like the coolest thing that I've seen in a long time. It's a free app. You go download it, use our code RGR. There's a link in the description. You can get it for free. And it just condenses everything for you. We're on the platform. Chiefs official feed is on the platform. Cole's over there. But you get curated content that is specific to the team that you're looking for, whether it's blogs or podcasts or watching breakdowns. They'll give you a daily rundown, the whole 9 yards, and everything that you do on that app links out to the original creator for us, and it gives you points you can redeem for tickets. You can redeem for all kinds of pluses as the season goes on. It's just one place to get all your Chiefs news and make it worth your while. So check it out. It's autograph.io. You can get it at the link below and use our code RGR. We would very much appreciate that. So that said, Dan, lots of topics. We could go anyway. I'm excited. I hope someone asked about Joe Thuney because that's where I'm at. But Micah was here early. Appreciate you, Micah, one of our stalwarts. He's got a ton of them, and I'm gonna let you run.
Yeah, Micah, I appreciate you being here. Just really quickly, that link, your Autograph, that app, getting all of your stuff that you're already doing anyway in one place and giving you rewards for it. That is one of the newest things out there, because we all know that you guys consume our content anyway. And it's one more way to not just support that person, but it gives you guys exactly what you want. You're reading content. You're listening to content. You're watching content. You get rewards for this stuff. So don't forget to go download the Autograph app, use the code RGR, and get rewards for stuff that you're already doing anyway. It makes no sense not to be very honest with you. I'm going to do it too, because I'll start to get some rewards for stuff that I do on a daily basis. Micah, guys? Broncos are rumored to possibly be cutting running back Pirine at the end of camp. He is still playing good. Should the Chiefs sign him if cut to be the third down back? Absolutely. Samaje Perine is the guy that you want being the third down back in this situation if you don't have, a Jerick McKinnon. So I say yes, because the contract won't be very much. I think that the Chiefs are kind of forcing Deneric Prince to take on more to see what you got here right now. And they might not want to be in that situation, but it is where they currently are right now. So I would say yes to this. What about you?
I have no problem with that, especially if it's before official cut downs to the 53.
Absolutely.
Because I do want to see him in the rhythm of the offense. I do want to see him get some reps, right? But you're absolutely right. Pushing Deneric Prince right now, kudos to him because he's making the most of it. Clyde is actually out, having some issues. And kudos to him. He says he's going to be back at practice after this day off, and I hope that he is. I'm pulling for Clyde because there's other things going on outside of football. So give him the benefit of the doubt, but why not add to the room in the process? I will tell you this: there is room to make it there as a third down back or a short yardage back. I think P-Ryan can do both, to tell you the truth. I do want to see some of the guys on this roster step forward, but what I've seen so far has been generic by default. And that doesn't mean he can't make it a big deal, but I don't see P-Ryan as a impact player, but I do see him as a guy that can contribute. He's consistent and he's a veteran. And I think that's kind of a guy Andy would like as well.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think you need a little bit more veteran leadership in that room. Someone who's been around a little bit longer and has been there and done that, like they had with Jerick McKinnon. It does feel like that's the last bit they need for the running back room, at least at this point.
Yep. Hi to all of our regulars. Nice to see you guys. Our mod, Gary Holland, is in the house. Everybody say hi to him. It's Brenda, Steve, Ozzy, Nikki's in. Everybody's getting here. Nice to see you guys. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Thank you for the super chats. I know they're rolling in, folks. Every super chat gets an answer tonight. We very much promise you. And we're going to get to a ton of your topics as well. So we're going to keep on rolling because Micah was nice and early. Well, way to go, dude. I spoke last summer about how these new preseason day games are crazy because of the heat. Do you think that Reed will play the starters in the second preseason game, which is 2 p.m. on August 17th, if it's super hot? I think they'll play. I don't know that he's going to give them the day off, but I don't think it's going to be, it might be a 2 series, which is unfortunate because second game is really where you want him to get a lot of reps.
Yeah, they usually like to get the first full half of that football game is usually how you see that go. But at the end of the day, this is a team that is vying for a three-peat, right? Any little bit of rest you can get, the continuity, especially with the return of Joe Thuney today to padded practices, helps their cause. It helps their cause in general. So if it's going to be super hot, you'll probably see one quarter. I think at most you'll see a quarter in that football game if it's super hot. But I think at the end of the day, Andy knows what these players do well. And there's a reason that their training camps are the hardest in the NFL. Now that's because they are preparing for the long run. So regardless, you're going to get some playing time in there. But at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be more of, we got to save a little bit here if it's going to be too hot for you players to play.
Yeah, let's be careful with that one.
Yeah.
Steve, thank you, buddy. Who are some of our backups that look good in camp that could have bigger roles in the upcoming season? Steve, that's a great question, and thank you for being one of our members, folks. If you want the memberships, you can get down there. I'm going to break down some film probably this week, probably tomorrow.
There we go.
For the members only side. So check that out. Don't get to that as often, but please check it out. And if you want to get in the memberships at the rookie level or above, you'll get there. So who do you think is growing right now from the backup to possibly playing an impact role?
First, starting to feel like Kamal Hayden is coming on, not just on at the slot, but on the outside. He's starting to play a little bit more. He's getting some experience out there. We know that Hicks is starting to work himself into playing time there. But as far as backups, today we got a little bit of Hunter Norzad playing at left guard with Joe Thuney taking a little bit of the, working in a little bit, because it has been Mike Caliendo as the guy up until today, where Joe came back and you started to see. There's actually a clip out there that I don't remember who tweeted it out, but I saw Mitch Schwartz talking about it. It was an outside zone play. I believe it was Kingdom Cast that tweeted it out, but it's an outside zone play where you have everyone going left except Mike Caliendo, who goes to the right. And that's how you, one, create negative plays for the defense when there's a gigantic hole and they can just come right on through. Miscommunications and problems like that on a simple outside zone play don't speak well to you as a player who's been here for multiple years now. So we're seeing the rookie, someone that I had mentioned that is going to be the Nick Allegretti role, come in and play a little bit. So he's somebody that I would be keeping an eye on going forward to get mixed in there with the ones as Joe comes along in his rehab and ready to play.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because you got to have backups at multiple levels. Hopefully a couple of them that can play the 3 interior spots at least. All those guys can snap. So it may come down to who looks the best snapping. We're going to find out. But Steve, thank you for your question and for being one of our members. We appreciate you, buddy. Micah, do you think the Raiders rookie safety Trey Taylor, aka the Puppet Master, will make the Raiders roster? I got to tell you, man, I haven't been paying attention to the Raiders, especially the safeties, because there's 8,000 of them. I don't know who's going to make that roster. Do you have any idea, Dan?
I'll be honest with you. If I was just looking at the Raiders roster, it's not like they have a ton of talent back there at the safety position. You know, Trevon Moehrig, Marcus Epps are fine. They're fine. They're not great players. And then you look right behind them, Chris Smith, okay, 5th round pick. Isaiah Palomau, no, not really much of a. He's got an opportunity to make the roster, and he was the quote unquote best defensive back in college football last year, is the award winner. So he's going to have an opportunity to make the roster, but you keep yapping your mouth and making puppets and talking about Patrick Mahomes, probably not going to make the roster, considering, especially if you end up playing in that game. Who do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the football to? It's going to be you, buddy.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that Trey Taylor can overtake my guy Chris Smith, because I'd love to see him in a Chiefs uniform, because he is that feisty kind of like honey badger sized dude that just makes plays. So Raiders, why don't you go ahead and screw that up and let him go? That'd be awesome. Micah, thank you, buddy. And thank you, Handeman. Nice to see you. Thoughts on our edge rush, especially FAU? Also, will Sky Moore ever be unburdened by what he has been? Dave Tobe seems to be trying everything with the dude. Bless him. What's your thoughts on the pass rush, man?
So we've heard a little bit of Steve Spagnuolo talking about FAU being, having some struggles early on, which makes sense, right? He comes in this year. He's been working with Tom Bahali, and before the pads come on, you're trying to figure some things out, right? You're not exactly sure how your body's going to work. And lately, a couple last practices, he's been much better. He's been getting quicker. I think that you can do as much practice without pads and all of that stuff, repetitions, until you put them on. You don't really know exactly how to use the lessons that you've learned throughout the offseason. This is very much like when you're learning anything, and I go liken it to kind of like cops when they're learning how to shoot a gun, and sometimes then you actually have to do it for the first time. Like it's not a direct correlation, but you can prepare all you want and all you can for the certain moment until you actually get to the pads and start to hit and then realize, okay, my hands need to be a little bit faster, things like that. So I think that he's going to be okay, and getting some real live reps in a preseason game in a few weeks will be very helpful to his cause.
I agree with you. That certainly is the way that I would go. I really want to see who can take up the slack. A lot's been made of FAU against Wanye this week and all that kind of stuff. But it's been Dana against Kingsley that I think has been more telling about who's doing what. Mike Dana is still the better pass rusher, and the Chiefs need more volume there. So I don't know. Can Truman Jones come on? Can somebody else provide a little bit of oomph from the pass rush itself? That's what I need to see. We've only had 3 days in pads, so it's early yet, but we'll get there. As far as Sky Moore goes, Dave Tobe is trying to do everything he can. I've seen multiple sessions of Andy Reid talking with Sky Moore one-on-one, Nagy talking with him. Like, they're trying. I don't know what the issue is, and I don't know if his confidence just shattered and that's the issue, but they're doing everything they can. If it doesn't work out for Sky Moore this year, it's not for a lack of trying, both on his part and the coaching staff's part, as far as I can see. So kudos to him. 4 passes on trick play to Worthy for a TD. I mean, it's a 10-10-10 practice, so there's no pads, nobody's hitting nothing. You might as well give it a shot, right? I would tell you this: I was a little bit more impressed with Tony's pass downfield than anything else.
It's one of the things that I know Andy Reid has had bad experiences with Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce in the past throwing. Give us a little bit of something. I love that they knew that they were going to have some cameras on them at this 10-10-10 practice, and just kind of sprinkle it out there for everybody. Hey, by the way, we can just kind of do whatever we want to and have Patrick and these guys throw it back and forth, put a little bit of hot potato. And oh, by the way, the fastest player in NFL history is down the field too. So you might want to not forget about him.
Eyes here. You're going to be fine. It's going to work out just awesome. You're going to have to decipher Clinton's for me, because I think what he's saying is that the way that he sees it, it's a 54-man roster. So who are they going to cut is my guess is the question.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. I think he is trying to say what position is going to be less in your mind here. And I'm seeing 7 wide receivers. And I'm telling you right now, Clinton, Andy Reid tried that before, and he's never going back to that well. He's going to
I
have
don't
6.
think so either. You and I went exactly to the same position group. I don't think they can afford to keep 6. It is night and day. It is the top 3 guys, and it's whoever can beat the crap out of the other 3 to get something. Sky, Kadarius feel like they're ahead. Remigio and obviously Watson are there. McCole Hardman. It comes down to, do you make the plays when you get the opportunity? That it could just land towards Watson and Hardman from experience. I just don't know, but it does feel, I agree, that they're trying everything with Tony to keep him on the roster.
Yeah, agreed.
What do you think of this one?
All right, Patrick. Seems like Spags isn't fully confident with the cornerback consistency outside of McDuffie. Should they trade for a guy or keep letting the guys that they have fight for the cornerback 2 spot? Who would you go and get? So I think the thing here for this question specifically is something that Spags talked about today. He said it directly. They want to be and like to be multiple. So when you see all these guys playing, especially now in the first full week of padded practices, you're going to see a lot of different things. They want to let everyone get an opportunity to showcase something. So I don't necessarily think it seems that he's not fully confident in their cornerback room, specifically because they've already gotten starting games out of Josh Williams and Jalen Watson. They have starting experience. I think he's pretty comfortable with them in his defense. I think he just wants to see what everyone's got. And there's nothing wrong with being multiple and finding out, oh, Kamal Hayden, who played on the outside in Tennessee, oh, he can play in the slot a little bit. And maybe you find out new things about these players in this time. So he's just experimenting, I think.
You also got to remember, Dave Merritt is an elite DB coach. So is Spags. So if anybody can take an underachieving draft pick and make him better, it's these 2 guys. I feel the same way about Kelvin Joseph. I warned you guys about 3 months ago. I thought maybe he had a chance because I thought the fit in this system was always good coming out, and he just hasn't been able to do anything. Now, all of a sudden, he was getting reps with the ones yesterday.
Yep.
And that's something that Spags mentioned today as well, that he's earned that because this system fits what he does. So I think they're going to let everybody continue to fight. Will they pay McDuffie when it's time? They might have to consider it. I'm just not sure after just watching LJ depart if they're ready for that. We're going to have to see how everything else spaces out, especially with the evolution of Mahomes' contract, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we do have a question on that. Patrick, thank you. And Clinton Scott, thank you for your super chat earlier.
Yes, thank you.
Just want to shout you out for that. Appreciate you. Chris, do you see Mahomes taking the Jalen Brunson approach and leaving some real money on the table in the next contract? See, who's Jalen Brunson?
He's a basketball player for the New York Knicks. He took he left some money on the table because I believe he just signed a contract last year, and then they gave him an extension and left some of that money on the table because obviously when you make that extension like a year after you sign a deal, you're giving up what could be that money at the end of that contract because the contract expands, right? That's what I'm thinking this question is talking about. And if I had to guess, yes. Patrick Mahomes knows what it takes, guys. He watched Tom Brady kind of do it, and he grew up with professional baseball players and the mentality of understanding what it takes to be a winner. He's done it now. I mean, he's going to be making $52.5 million over the next, I think, 4 or 5 years. So he's not exactly leaving money on the table. He's still making a lot of it. But in terms of when he gets that next contract, he's always going to have the team first mentality. And at the end of the day, I mean, whatever the Chiefs want to pay him, go for it. Like he's already earned everything, every cent he's going to get the rest of his career.
And I apologize, Chris. I'm pretty much a 1 or 1.5 professional sport watcher guy. I watch a little bit of hockey, and that's about it. Otherwise, I am football pretty much all the time. So NBA, if you'd said college basketball, I might have gotten it, but then not so much on the pro side. So apologies, Chris. I will also say this. I think they'll do something to make the number look pretty good, but Patrick's 12 today, 12. And I put a graphic out this on social media. You guys, you can follow me on Twitter or whatever, just because it's sick. the top 8 guys have 0 Super Bowl rings and only 3 appearances, all of which they lost. And Patrick's like getting paid drastically less than all of them. It's ridiculous. So I think he knew that, signing a 10-year contract, knowing that everyone was going to pass him by. I think he'll get caught up, and then they'll start passing him by again. Because honestly, his income from the NFL is not what he needs. He makes more money doing commercials. Let's be real. So he's okay. Joe, what wide receiver have been practicing with the first team? What wide receiver will not make the team? Everybody's been getting reps. For what I understand, even some of the young guys have been getting a couple of reps here and there with Patrick. And it's one thing to say with the ones, but specifically with Patrick Mahomes, that's really the thing. I got a little insight the other day that not only is Justin Ross still with Carson Wentz, he's getting those jump balls that he's excellent at and showing himself off. But Phil Brooks made a couple of plays, and even Cornell Powell had 2 catches yesterday, as I understand, down. So kudos to your guy. I can't see any of them making the team, though. There's literally 8 guys that could start on teams in this league right now, and I just can't see either of those 2 making it.
I'm really starting to feel like Nico Remigio is going to make this roster, guys. Like it is, they are talking him up, and he not only does he have the return and special teams value, he's making plays again as a wide receiver. And Patrick's talking about his work ethic. Work ethic not only makes rosters, it makes plays. If you have the work ethic to consistently put in to get better, look at Tyreek Hill. We talk about this a lot. Tyreek Hill would not be where he is now without the work ethic to switch from running back to wide receiver, bulk up, compact himself, and be just better at everything. He got better at everything. That's work ethic. Work ethic makes everything go. You can have talent, but if you don't have work ethic, Kadarius, it's not going to work out for you.
Thanks, Joe. And thank you, Minotaur. Minotaur is our resident membership Santa Claus here on RGR.
Let's go.
Everybody give him a hand. He's giving out free memberships for you guys. You get a taste. You get all the perks in the live stream for free. You can upgrade from there if you like, get the behind-the-scenes content, some of the more pressing content, my notes on games, the whole 9 yards. You can get that. But Minotaur's getting you started, and we appreciate you, Minotaur, as always. You are the man with the plan, and we cannot do it without you.
Love it.
Info. Who has the edge through camp, Niang or Godric? Has had a lock because of the draft investment. I am perplexed by the 2 tackle guys here. I was intrigued when Joe wasn't back, and they're like, hey, we're going to put Niang at left guard and give it a shot. His pad level is a concern in there, but good God, the size of the man, maybe guard is the best spot for him. I don't know. Godric seems to be getting enough reps that are quality that he could maybe be the swing tackle behind somebody, or at least the right backup, assuming that either Wanya or Kingsley wins the left job outright. I have not seen enough notes on Haddon myself, but what do you feel about him?
I personally think he's a perfect fit for this defense. Am I here still? Am I here again? Am I good?
Yeah, his physicality. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, like he's super physical, and he plays the ball well in the air. I think he locates it better after it's getting closer to the receiver. Like he's not a turn his head around and find it. He's more of a, oh, there it is. He can slap it out of the receiver's hands. Like he's better at like playing the ball at the catch point than he is locating it over his shoulder. But that's exactly kind of what the Chiefs, that's what they value. I don't know what it is. They don't like guys that turn their head and look for interceptions. It's just not what they do. So that's going to be different. But at least the fact that they're playing him at slot as well shows more of the versatility. So I don't think he's a lock to make it. I personally have him making this roster because I do think he's good enough to make the roster. But again, you're going to have to see who's getting the reps at slot, who's getting some outside. Like that's what you're going to have to see and kind of see how that first preseason game might be telling enough to see, okay, here we go. We got some actual information here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jalen's situation definitely plays on it. I think it's him and Kelvin Joseph as the like guys that are fighting for that 5th spot. I think, unfortunately, the fact that they've run a bunch of other people in through the nickel, I'm not sure that Nick Jones is making the progression he needs to make the roster. He may end up on the practice squad, and that would make room for Haddon. So is it Haddon or Hayden? I keep saying it differently every time.
I don't remember.
Whatever it is, I think he's got an outside shot.
Yeah.
Ozzy, sounds like Ross is getting a good amount of run with the ones while Hollywood's sick. What do you think he has to show to have a chance to make it as the 6th or 7th if they keep it? I mean, he's got to be able to do more than just the jump ball. He's got to be in the right spot. He's got to be able to run the right route and attack the DB at the angle that Patrick wants. And that's what he hasn't been able to do yet. He's great at the jump ball thing. If they used him for that, okay, keep him. But so far they haven't chosen to do that.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that we saw what they did with him last year. It was pretty much specific. You're on the outside, you're gonna go that way. You're gonna go down the field. If, like Ryan's talking about, you need a little bit more from him. If he's not offering that, he's not making this roster. It doesn't matter what he does with the jump balls. It does not matter. Like, you have to be able to be trusted. And if Patrick can't trust you to do anything outside of that, you're not valuable to him. You're just not.
Yeah, I agree. Make yourself valuable. It's the bottom line. Are the Chiefs highlighting Tony to make him appealing for a trade? Nikki, I think that's certainly part of the equation. I think they're showing him off to see what he'll do. I mean, if he performs, okay, great. Then you've reaped the benefit yourself. If he doesn't, or if he performs well enough that you get an offer you can't really refuse and you can remove that risk, given you have the depth here, then yes, maybe that's part of it as well. But I think it's, if you can get upside either way, I think they'll go for it. What do you see him doing, Dan?
It's possible. I really think that they firmly believe in him. Like, that's the thing. I think this team believes in Kadarius Toney and his talent, and they want him on this roster. Like, that's how I've taken this pretty much, even though you guys know how I feel about it.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. It's one thing to have an opinion. It's another thing to make sure that you understand their opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirk, nice to see you, buddy. It's been a bit. Another one of our longtime members.
What up, Kurt?
Which rookies have a real chance to be starters or at least make the 53-man roster? Whew. Starters is a stretch. Given how well he's played, week 1, I think Xavier Worthy's going to be out there with the first 11 package, right? I mean, there's no way not to, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I think we're going to see 2 rookies starting on this team. And
on this offense.
On this offense. Sorry, you're right. Just the offense. You're going to have 2 rookies.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 rookies there. Kingsley is making progress seemingly every day. And that's what you want. You want him just to make progress. You know it's going to be rough. Like, you understand you're going to have ups and downs, but you make progress and you learn from your mistakes. I think that's the big thing, especially in those one-on-ones. You get information. That's all they're used for, guys. It doesn't matter how much you win or lose one-on-ones. It's about learning from the mistakes and not letting the same thing happen again. And I think what we're seeing is that it's not happening the same every single time, and he's learning from them. So that's always nice to see. I mean, I think we're going to see at least 5 rookies on the roster. I think 5 is the number.
Yeah.
Well, maybe more. It depends. You might get more, but I think we have 5 as I have 5 locked in myself. So I don't know about you.
I have 4 locked in with a possible 2 others. Hicks is going to play. I'm concerned about where Justin Reed is in his recovery. Hicks is going to play either way. He'll be on the roster. Yes. Will he be a starter? He might be if Reed is out. And the only reason that could get thrown for a loop is they pulled him down for a little bit to put Chamari back at strong safety. And that's what facilitated McDuffie coming back into nickel. I don't think McDuffie went to nickel for, what was it, 2 days? For any other reason than Justin Reed wasn't there. And they got to find out what they got where and when and how they can put the combination. I think that was a change not due to the actual corner play. But obviously, I think Norzad makes the roster. I haven't heard enough positive plays out of Hansen yet. I do like what he brings, but I think he might be a year away from making the roster. So my guess is a practice squad for him. And then I have both Haddon and Jacobs as fringe guys who could make it, and I'm just not sure they're locked yet. But
okay,
that's where I'm at. Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate you. Tom, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the 5-spot, buddy. How are you doing? I hope, Tom. The answer is good. What are your thoughts on the as to the order of the DBs will end up on the roster, the order of them and what the roles are? It's a great question. How would you lay it out?
Oh man. So I have 10 DBs on the roster for on my roster, and that counts 4 safeties, including Connor as a safety, but he'll be played in the slot as of now. Again, assuming Justin Reed's health. His health is also tying some other things around. Because again, if you don't have Justin Reed there early on, that leaves, again, Nick Jones has an opportunity to make the roster as a slot option. If you have to play Chamari Connor as more of your strong safety in that role, it mixed the math up a little bit. So I think we're going to have 10 at the end of the day, and that leans 6 corners and 4 safeties. Now, we haven't done a full 53-man reveal yet, and we're not going to until we get to after the second preseason game, probably. So just let your mind play with that a little bit there, Tom. Appreciate you.
Oh, I like that one. So I wanted to double check this one, make sure I was getting it right. So would you read this? And thank you, Tom. I agree. Would you just make sure I'm saying this right and you read it?
All right, Ray. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. How do you see the cornerback room shaping out? Do you think that they bring McDuffie back inside to take advantage of all the great outside corners that we have now? I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but both of us at this state believe that McDuffie will be on the outside unless you have injury at safety, which will put him back to the slot so that Chamari Connor can go back and play safety. That's kind of how we both see this happening, because I do think that the Chiefs like to have a number 1 corner on the outside. As good as Trent McDuffie was in the slot, I think he can be better as an outside corner. And that's not to slight him because he's an all-pro slot corner. But
Yep.
he still is not as quick as those quick twitch guys in the slot. It's not his fault. He's just not that fast. Short area. He's fast. He's got good short area speed, but these guys are a little bit different. He works as better as an outside corner with the mental game, with his ability to turn around with the bigger guys. And yes, he's a bit smaller, a bit shorter, but his mental makeup and his football IQ have made up for that in the past, and it will in the future. So that's how at least I know I see that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I want him outside as well, because I want the same thing they had last year. And Spags talked about it last week at his presser. We like to travel a guy when we can. We've been able to do that a few times, a little bit with Travarius, with LJ last year, but that took 3 years of progress by LJ to get to the point where he could. I feel that Trent McDuffie can do that this season and shut down half the field, or at least to the point where you feel he's got the advantage of the matchup enough that you can concentrate on the other half and force the ball the way you want it. I would do anything I can to maintain that advantage if it were me.
Agreed.
Info. Sell me on Moore. I don't see the logic. I keep hearing his contract is cheap is why. Well, so is Remio, Hardman, and others. He isn't good at special teams, doesn't have athleticism for upside. He does have athleticism. He has trouble understanding how to use it. He doesn't know where to be. He doesn't know what route to run. And honestly, the catching the ball thing is an issue. It was last year. It's been a little bit so far in camp. I don't think it's an athleticism issue with Moore. What do you think?
Yeah, so first off, we have like 5 different questions about Sky Moore. So really quickly, I'm going to highlight you guys so we don't drop you off the map and you don't feel missed. Austin as well, talking about Sky Moore, trying to salvage him. We're going to get to it. There's a couple more here, guys. Just give me a second here. I know there's lots more about Sky Moore. Casey Cody also says Sky seemed to have a better couple days in pads than he did in the first week of camp. Any chance we collect a late rounder from a team that needs one? So we'll get you guys kind of all encompass your questions here so that we stay on topic for Sky Moore, okay? Earlier yesterday, Andy Reid has talked about him playing faster, him playing not thinking too much. And I did a film room earlier in 2023 during the season talking about wasted movement in his routes, timing problems, things that happen when you are thinking too much. Sky Moore did not have that problem as a rookie, didn't have that problem as a player at Western Michigan. You want to know why? Andy Reid's route tree, zone coverage understandings, being able to match your routes based on what you're seeing. You have to be able to read the defense like a quarterback. You have to. And it's taken a lot longer for Scott to get there. So what we're seeing right now, the last couple of days, Andy has said he's starting to play a little bit faster. He's not thinking as much. So maybe it's starting to click a little bit. Now, he's probably not going to be a guy that makes a real impact on a roster. I just don't see that as being an option as of this point, because right now you have to be able to get the mental side going. You have to be able to be in the right spot, catch the football, and go. Right now he's not able to do that. So what I'll tell you is that if we get through the preseason and everything is starting to play a little bit faster, he's playing a little bit faster, and the ball's coming to him and he's catching it, probably going to be on the roster and be a good depth piece. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, that's what you hope for, because they are just slow to give up on anybody. They want to be loyal, let a guy come around, and I can't fault them for it. You know, as long as you have you're not wasting other options. Heard anything about McKinnon retiring or anything? James, I appreciate the question, and I haven't. It's been very, very quiet, and I think that's probably because the recovery from the hip. I know he wanted to play in that Super Bowl. I think it might have cost him some health, to tell you the truth. So I don't think he's going to retire until he has to, but I don't know if he's ready to get on a football field. So, I mean, he could be a November signing for all I know, because I haven't heard a peep about it. So that will make Dan very happy, and I will be right there with him. So thanks for the question, buddy. Jonathan, thank you. Happy 27th, pal. Hope that you're having a good one. Take it easy tonight. It's hot out there, so rehydrate as you drink, okay? I'm just saying.
Happy birthday, Jonathan.
I couldn't think of a better way to spend it than hang out with you and talk football. Well, Jonathan, thank you very much. You know what? As you're out there and about, hit me on Twitter there with some kind of little video clip, and I'll get you on next week's show just to have your,
there we go,
celebration up there. Just keep it out of the clubs, okay? Casey Forever, how's the third running back going? Be Prince or P. Ryan, I believe. When you are running KT at RB, are you thinking they let Clyde go? It's a great question. I don't think so. I think it comes down to, unless Generic Prince can run better than Clyde, and Clyde's so far looks trimmer to me, looks a little bit quicker to me. Unless they feel he's actually an upgrade over Clyde, I don't think they let Clyde go right now.
Yeah, I think that Clyde's been dealing with some demons. Okay, we all have stuff that we deal with. What it is. He tweeted about PTSD today. Okay, not easy thing to deal with. Okay, and I don't really care if it's from war or if it's from your past. Everyone's got some form of it if you've gone through some traumatic experience. So whatever has gone through him, just prayers up to him. Hopefully he's okay. He's in better mindset now. It seems like he's praising the team in Kansas City for helping him through that. And as of right now, he's going to be on this roster. I do believe that he'll be the RB2, especially considering he knows the playbook and what's expected of him. And I agree. He looks better. He looked better last year, healthy, ready to go. So I think he'll be here as well. And I don't think they're going to cut him at all. And I think KT playing a little bit of running back was more of a, hey, buddy, get it in gear. Get it in gear.
Do something. And Casey Forever, I saw your question. We'll get to LRZ coming up later in the show, folks. Cody, thank you for your support. As always, pal. Smith got some run over the weekend. If you had your way, a fourth tight end or a roster spot for Carson Steele? You mean I have to choose? What would you do, Dan?
You guys, these are layups for Ryan. He's just going to take the fullback spot. But no, I'm taking the fourth tight end. I'm taking the fourth tight end all day.
I'm going to take Carson Steele as the fourth tight end. How's that? Because
I
know I can always put him in the backfield if I need to.
I'm okay with that.
The more you can do, right? The more jobs you can help this team out with, Carson, get your stuff in gear, bro. I'm pulling for you. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate you.
Chat, Cody.
Joseph, feels like the Chiefs have a lot of CBs that could play in the NFL. Could you see the Chiefs moving one of them in training camp to a CB-needy team? I hope so, because they're going to have to cut somebody good at this point, somebody who won't get through waivers. So I hope that they're able to showcase enough talent. And the big thing is, can they stay healthy enough to showcase them? There's a question coming up here, and we'll get to who's where and what with injury. but you need to be able to show your talent. And then I do think the cornerback is a spot that you could trade somebody off. Do you disagree in any way?
No, we've talked about it a little bit. I think that we're going to see a cornerback traded for sure.
Yeah. What's your record prediction at this point? It doesn't have to be solid, just gut.
Swag boy. Okay, we're just going to go off the top here because I'm feeling a little frisky today, and I like where we're at. We're at 311. You guys in here. We know the season's coming. You guys are really itching for Chiefs talk, and we're glad that you're here. So thank you for being here. And we're going to kick this off. 17 game season now. We're just going to go 14-3. Chiefs go 14-3, and it's going to be a fiery season in Kansas City.
Damn it, son. That's what I was going to say. Stole my thunder. I'll take the sensible route. They'll lose one squeaker. How's that? I'll go 13-4 right now is my gut.
There's going to be that Colts game like in late November, December that they just forget about and don't show up, right? That's what
right? Who? We got to play who?
Oh, we play today. Okay, that's right. Okay.
You guys, if you want to get this and you joined us late, make sure you check out our newest sponsor. They're going to be with us a good part of the season here, and they curate content for you. Go check it out at Autograph, and you can get us, and you get rewards for watching us, reading, watching anybody else on YouTube that's Chiefs content. You can get it all right there, and it's free. Use our code RGR, and that'll help us out. We appreciate you guys. Jonathan, do you think secondary is going to perform? How do you think it's going to perform with Snead gone? And who's the potential superstar dark horse in the secondary besides McDuffie? Ooh, I'm going to let you take that one before I sing the same praises.
So I don't necessarily think that there's a dark horse for a potential superstar in the secondary. I will say, and I've talked about him a lot already, Kamal Hadden's position in this defense, I think he could play like L'Jarius Sneed. Maybe L'Jarius Sneed
like that. And Red Hood's like tied into you, Jonathan, for the same kind of question. Is Jalen putting himself at risk here because he's been out for quite a while? Could he be on the outside looking in? Overreaction Monday for you. I like where you're at, Red Hood. And unfortunately, it's always a possibility, but I don't feel it's there yet. Do you, Dan?
I don't know if it's there in terms of cut, but I do think Jalen Watson might be on the trade block.
Could be. As we were talking about, there's a lot of corners that could play in this league on this roster. And Jalen's done enough and made some big plays, Chargers, that he could find himself with some interest. Minotaur, again, thank you very much. Next month, as the season begins, you're going to hit 3 years in the memberships, and we appreciate you. And thank you for spreading the word as you always do. Anyone else looking forward to a healthy amount of Jared Wiley this year? I'm always looking forward to that because I want some help. Oh, the star of the show has shown up, folks. She would like some help for Travis as well. Hi, lady. Bedtime is a thing of the past, Cookie Monster. And so, folks, this is what we do. Thank you for being with us. This is a family show. You're going to see Avery from time to time. Makes me smile. So, hey, we'll take it in stride. But Wiley is here to help Kels. I mean, that's what it is. He could become the heir apparent. We don't know that yet. But in the meantime, he will help him not take so many reps, not take so many jarring hits. The combination of Jared Wiley's presence and Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown's presence is going to get some coverage and the physicality off of Travis Kelce, which I think will help him in the long run.
Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Jared Wiley on the field at the same time. That's your 4 verticals in 12 personnel, by the way. Just throw the ball downfield. Yeah. Someone's there, someone's open.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. I mean, people are going to be scared, and they should be. That's what it's all predicated on. Tom, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Tom. Hey, guys, did you just fall out of the coconut tree?
It's supposed to be Chiefs.
Chiefs will three-peat. Price, too. You know, they come in triples, I guess. They will be unburdened by what has been. I like that. Tom, thank you, and thank you for the support.
Appreciate you, Tom.
I'm trying not to be that blind optimist, but I feel like it too. Like I feel better about this team now than I did last year, and they just won a damn Super Bowl. So,
That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Everyone's scared right now. The
it's
Chiefs won the Super Bowl with the worst team that they've had since Patrick Mahomes took over.
right.
I don't know how you could think they couldn't.
Well, crap. What do we do now? I mean, if I'm a defensive coordinator, that's literally what I say. Well, what the hell do we do now? I got nothing.
I don't know, man.
So just enjoy it. Mr. Phil, you guys are awesome. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. I'm kind of worried about the running game. I don't think the CH is the answer if Pop gets injured. I can understand that, Phil, and thank you for the kind words. I think it's going to be a committee, to tell you the truth. It's going to be – we've seen Clyde go off. Like, he has the ability, if it's the right defense and the right set of players, I don't think he's a down and down out either. I want to believe in Derek Prince, but I'm not convinced of that either. I don't mind grinding it out with a Carson Steele kind of like, power dive thing from time to time. That's okay. But I think the X factor is somebody that I should probably jump to the next question. We'll get to that in just a second, but there could be an acquisition, as Dan said. Are you leaning towards there has to be an acquisition, Dan?
I mean, has to is tough, but again, do you feel comfortable with the room if it's Clyde and then everybody else? No, you don't, and you shouldn't, because it's not good. Outside of Clyde, who's done, again, he's played good football in the NFL, and last year he looked healthy, which is more than we can say for the 2 years previous. And you need something. You need something.
Yeah, you need a spark. And that's why I'm going to jump down to tie in with you, Phil. And thank you again, Phil, for the kind words.
Appreciate
Casey
you,
Forever had this as well. He had a follow-up that we should put it in here now because there's a couple of things here to your question. They have a roster exemption for him now because it's a training camp exemption. They can put him on the practice squad. There's also a roster exemption there. So he'd be like a 17th player on the practice squad. But there is no 53-man exemption for him. So it's not like he can be a 54th player on your active roster. That just doesn't work for them. So that is out of the question in terms of being on the 53, but he can be on the practice squad. But he's also the guy that I think could be that X factor. He's got a long way to go. He does not look like he has enough vision or understanding at what's coming at him in the backfield right now. He got some good reps with the ones this weekend, and he just isn't able to process fast enough to understand where he needs to go. But if you didn't see the highlights, he has that gear. When he gets to the edge or the hole does open enough for him to hit it, he's freaking gone. And so he does have that X factor ability. It just might take him a while to get there, is my thought. What do you think about how he's doing?
The tough part for me is that you have to be able to block. Regardless, if you're not going to be a player, like a starter, a running back, as a contributor, as a special teams guy, you might be tasked to block at any given time. He can't block. Not his fault. Again, he's learning. He's learning the whole sport. He's learning it all. And the tough part's going to be if he's cut, guess where he has to go? Through waivers. And guess what can happen? Doink. So it's hard to see him making the roster, and it's hard seeing him making the practice squad. So if somebody were to, I don't know, magically come up with turf toe for the entire season, my thing might be LRZ being that guy.
Front row, hangnail. I'm going to the pup. See ya. IR, here I come. You very, very good point, my friend. It's like you have a crystal ball. I love it. Ruthless Monk, and thank you forever. I know it's unrealistic, probably, but would you trade for left tackle who?
Worse, I think.
And pay them and let Kingsley sit behind Taylor for a season or two, and then let him start at right tackle. No, I would not. Would you?
No, I would not. Wirfs one is going to be the highest paid tackle in the NFL in the next coming weeks, I would expect. And the Chiefs did this to get cheaper at tackle. because you have to get cheaper. They got the away from Brown. They brought in an expensive right tackle, and they got a couple of stop gaps, and then they drafted him on purpose so they wouldn't have to pay 2 tackles, so that they could distribute the wealth a little bit more, because you have guys coming up next year and contracts that need to be matched. Being able to bring in Wirfs would cost first round draft capital and then a 28 to $30 million extension per year. It's not sound for the team to do that in this stage when they're coming off of a Super Bowl win where it was Donovan Smith playing left tackle for them. And now they're going forward with a better roster to hurt them with that contract.
Yeah, it's just too much money. And by the way, if you guys didn't see it, old Trent Williams that they were trying to get when they got Orlando Brown, yeah, he's holding out again. So they dodged part of a bullet right there too. So
that's a big bullet they dodged.
Yeah, $30 million for a tackle just made me throw up in my mouth. Good God. I can't even handle the CeeDee Lamb stuff. That's just, you're killing me, Smalls. Oh, Gary, nice to see you, buddy. And everybody give Gary a hand. Our moderator in-house. Nice to see you, Gary. They said Spags is going to let Harrison kick off for now. Do you feel that is a smart idea? I don't think they have a choice. I don't think you can trust the rookie. No offense to LRZ. Like, there's just too much on his plate. And Justin can't even practice defense right now. I'm not putting him in a situation where he's got to kick. And I think that's more Tobe's decision than not, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think, Dan? Think that's a mistake?
No, I'm fine with just letting Butker kick. Like, it's fine. Just let it happen. Don't put anybody else out there if you don't have to. Just have emergency situations, but Butker knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he's smart enough to delay and not get himself in a physical matchup he'll lose. So I'm okay with that. Kathy, thoughts on Curtis Jacobs? I hear that he's showing off his athleticism, which is great. I don't think that he's quite ready to break out, but I want to see what he does against the backups and the threes in the first preseason game. Because what I have been able to see of him has not been it's been more drill based. I haven't seen him in team much. So I really don't have a feel quite yet for him. Do you have any, Dan?
No, we're just going to have to wait until we get to preseason to actually get a decent feel for some of these players. That's just how it works every year.
Agreed. And folks, we're going to speed up here because we're approaching the hour and we got a lot of questions to answer here. So Tom, thank you for another super chat. What wide receiver will absolutely be incredible this year? Who do you think stands out?
Hollywood Brown's going to go off. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I've been on the Hollywood Brown train. I know Ryan was slow to it, but I feel like we finally got a foot on this year for him. The route running's there. The speed's there. The timing is there. Patrick already loves what he brings to the table. I think he's going to have a Juju-type season. I truly believe that.
I have come around on him, much like Calvin Joseph landing in a defense that fits him. This fits him, and he seems already better than he ever has been in the past. So I admit I was slow to warm up to him, but now he's doing pretty damn good. So I'm with you. I personally feel that all the drama is going to push Rashee Rice to be better. I think he's going to make a lot of hay.
I hope so. I'd love that.
Me too. Red Hood, call me crazy, but I can see a room of Rice, Brown, and Worthy. Makes sense. Watson, Remigio, and Ross. Tony makes the team as well, but I think they'll consider him more as a fourth RB. I don't see a scenario myself where both Remigio and Ross make the roster.
Agreed.
One of them, yes. I don't think they could afford to take both.
I'm with you.
Okay. Thanks, Red Hood. Appreciate you. Another one of our members, folks. If you want in the memberships or if you want the MVP logo or the Rogue Nation logo, you can get that in the store and you can get in the memberships. Terry, thank you for all the hard work. You've been working on the streams on Tuesday. Was in a class on Monday nights. Okay, well, hey, nice to see you back, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
And no worries, we got you. And I hope you guys are enjoying the Tuesday breakdown. I started it early. I usually don't start that until week 1, but I thought, you know what? Let's change up the format. Let's do a little something different. So breakdowns are going to run through Tuesdays all season long. I'm just going to give you my straight facts, what I think and what I don't. And if people disagree, that's super cool. I've already had to crush out about 1,000 Raiders fans, so it's a good time. I will see you guys on Tuesdays.
It's a great day.
Mr. Big Phil, where do you think the receiver group fares against the Dolphin receivers when it comes to speed? Well, they're right there with them if you're just talking like the top 3 guys.
It's tough
because McColl's a 4.3 guy too.
Yeah, it's the field speed, right? It's on field speed and not the time stuff. Kind of put that away a little bit. I would say that they're right there. They're right there. Play speed, I think Tyreek is still the fastest play speed in the NFL, even though Xavier Worthy has a faster 40 time. Play speed is different, guys, and Tyreek is completely different.
Yeah, and let's remember too that like it's not just his speed; it's his ability to change direction, and that's something that this crew doesn't have the same thing. These guys are all a little bit more straight line. I would argue that Worthy probably has the most shiftiness to him. Would you agree?
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. He's got the most of this receiver room.
Okay. Then we're seeing it the same way. Tom, nice to see you, buddy. Going to be my first preseason game in Jacksonville. Any chance that I see the starters? Yes, you will see. Do not be late.
Nope.
There ain't no decent barbecue in Jacksonville, so there ain't no reason to be in the parking lot after it's an hour pre-kick. Get your butt in there because you ain't going to see them long, buddy. You might see 10 plays out of the starters on offense. So I would not mess around. I hope you have a good time, though, Tom, and let us know.
Absolutely,
send us stuff on Twitter or whatever. Throw me a little image or something. Info, thank you again. Always one of our most prolific.
Thank you,
folks.
Info.
Appreciate you, buddy. Lance, welcome to the memberships.
Welcome in.
If you have any questions, and if you got in at the rookie level or above, you can get in the Discord as well. It's just for our RGR members. So let me know if you have any issues. Not a problem. Montre, nice to see you. Do you think that the true air raid offense can work in the NFL? I think it's becoming more and more viable every day. Do you, Dan?
We saw it work. I understand that there's a lot of bad things that came out of Arizona with Kyler Murray, and the name escapes me. The name it flew out of my head. I had it. Cliff Kingsbury. I know there's a lot of bad juju there, but it worked. It actually worked. The offense was very good. People were singing the praises of Kyler Murray being an MVP candidate. It did work. So yes, it absolutely can work, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah. And it's funny. We're seeing like the diversification of football in the NFL because Harbaugh and the Chargers are going to go the total opposite direction. So I'm really intrigued about how this is going to go down. Thanks, Montre. Nice to see you. Minotaur, thank you. Check out Locked On Chiefs if you haven't. Definitely. Check out the Draft Network as well because you can see Dan's content for the next group of professionals over there right there. Congrats on the job, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Corbin, Najee a cut candidate if he can't stay healthy on the field for camp? I don't think so. Not a cut. An IR, if he has to, sure. It could be the circumstance.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. I feel for him. I really do. You got to be on the field. You got to be able to play. He hasn't been able to play. So yes, for me, he is a cut candidate if he can't stay on the field. Because his contract's up after this year, I think. Like, if he's getting IR'd, he's not going to be.
I thought he had 2 left.
Oh, he was 7th round, so he's 4. So never mind.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. But yeah, we'll just have to see. He's only missed 3 practices total? So it's not that bad. But we'll see. See if he comes back after a day off.
On the knee that you got surgery on, that's not good. That is not good.
No, it's not. But I'm gonna remain optimistic. That's me. Any surprise cuts this season? Thank you, Mr. Miller, another longtime member, one of our originals. Nice to see you, buddy. Who you got? Who's a surprise cut?
Man, this is the toughest thing every single year. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be like a surprise cut, like a oh, that was shocking. I think you might see a trade. Like we talked a little bit about Jalen Watson trade, but maybe someone more shocking, Malik Herring, if that's on the table because, again, he is more of a tweener and Mike Dana's playing well. I think they want to get Felix more reps, especially if you have some ahead of the curve training and rehab from Omenihu. He's on the outside looking in.
Could be. I was going to the same kind of conversation. I know they traded for him and spent some draft capital, but I don't know that Neil Farrell makes this roster.
Yeah, that's true
I'm having
too.
trouble seeing it from here. So we're going to find
Our
out.
guy's going to make
Great
it,
question, Daryl. Appreciate you. Dylan, are you considered the left guard position? And what have you seen so far from training camp? Appreciate you, Dylan, and welcome in. I am not concerned. I think they have multiple viable candidates. It's just that Joe is the best. You know, I mean, He is heads and tails. If you guys missed my piece yesterday with the news, go back and watch that. It's not terribly long, so you can breeze through it. But he elevates two positions just by his presence, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, the fact that he's
Razgriz
activated is huge.
Yeah, it's enormous. As much for Kingsley as it is for him. Wande's got a little bit of advantage because he's been out there on the field at game speed, right? For Kingsley in particular, having him there, it's a big deal. Razgriz, it's nice to see you. Do you think that McKay Medower, is that how I say it, makes the roster? Right now, I don't. Do you?
No, he's got it's an uphill climb. Like, I think Caliendo is slated above him too. Like, it's a long climb.
Yeah, I think Medower could be a practice squad guy though. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. Pono, sorry if the question already came up. No problem, buddy. Nice to see you. When is Sky getting cut? He apparently messed up again today. Yes, I just don't think they're going to cut him. If he gets into preseason games and starts dropping the ball, okay, then maybe they will consider it.
Yeah.
But just short of that, unless he makes some colossal mistakes, I think they're going to ride it out with him. That's just, I could be naive, but that's just the way it feels.
Yeah, it just,
okay. So
that's how they've treated it. No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pono. Good to see you, pal. What do you think of Swayze Bozeman? Thank you, Phil. I hear that he's keying well. I don't know if he's got everything that he needs. I haven't seen him take on any blocks, but again, I haven't been to camp yet, and I've been watching as much as I can, but I haven't seen anything that really gives it away. Do you have an impression?
My only thing is if he's half as cool as Patrick Swayze, then we're okay.
Everything's going to be fine, bro. Till it's time to not be nice. Then we're going to roll. Thanks, Phil. Who's catching your eye at LB, the fourth spot? It doesn't even need to catch my eye. It's Cam Jones. It ain't close to me.
Correct. Absolutely.
Jack Cocker's going to play special teams, and they're going to give you the impression that he might play over Cam Jones at first, but I don't think that's actually the case. Thank you, Tilly, and welcome in. Wolfpack, nice to see you back. Good to see you. Will Irv Smith make this squad? Ooh, great question.
You got a question for us, Wolfpack? I've got a question for you. I'll answer it, then I'll ask you. Will Irv Smith make the squad? Yes. Are you a one-man Wolfpack, or do you have more in your Wolfpack?
He's a six Wolfpack is what he is.
Stop it.
I will tell you, I think the margin for Irv is pretty slim right now. That's what I was trying to make a visual.
Okay, I got you.
I think it could come down to other numbers. Red Hood, nice to see you again, and thank you again for another great question. How many practice squad exemptions do the teams get for international prospects? I know last year's was Chew. Could they get Chew and LRZ on the practice squad using that exemption? I did, because of your question, pull it up here. And it doesn't specify in the league's official rules, but it does say this. Designated teams are allowed an extra offseason roster spot and an extra practice squad spot. So that tells me that it's singular. So I don't think they can use it for both. I think Chew has to make the actual roster. Thanks, Red Hood. Nice to see you. Austin, Justin Ross, is this the year we give up the dream? If he can't get it done this year, he can't get it done. Not for this offense. Can he go somewhere else and be what he's best at and be a jump ball guy and be a point of contact guy? Could he go down to the Buccaneers and give Mike Evans a couple of plays off? I think he could. I think there's other places in the league he can play that are better suited to his skill set.
Yeah,
by the way, did you see the news that Evans was considering the Chiefs before he went back to Tampa.
Yep, it was the dream. Killed the dream.
We all had the dream. Damn you, Mike. Tom, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Good to see you. Great job, you guys, making the insignificant things significant on here. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're absolutely incredible. And I will say this: they feel insignificant at times, but they're often things that turn and land people jobs. So we're just going to keep digging.
That's our
I can't
goal.
ignore it if I wanted to anyway. But thank you, Tom. I appreciate you.
Tom.
Dub Freak, thank you, buddy. Nice to see you, especially in pounds. You're always giving us a little extra tip, and I appreciate that. You guys are surprised that D. Smith hasn't re-signed. Plus, even though the draft is long gone, do you think that we should have drafted a mid-round DT? I just pray Lovett works out. So we have that number 2 next to CJ. Man, that's a loaded question, and I appreciate you. I'll take the first part. I'm not surprised about Donovan Smith yet. I do feel like his age is a factor, and I'm guessing he doesn't want to play for a non-contender, so he's kind of riding it out to see whether he gets a job here or somewhere else where there's an injury. I'm not terribly surprised about that. But are you, and what do you think of obviously Lovett in the draft?
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected them to take a defensive tackle on day 2. That seemed to be the area where you could get one. Then I think that the Chiefs saw value, obviously, at tackle and with Xavier in the first round. So to be able to do that, it takes away some possibilities, and that took the depth out too. Because honestly, the guy that I wanted was used for the Bills with the pick that the Chiefs used to trade up to get Xavier Worthy. That was the tough part for me, because I wanted Dwayne Carter so bad in Kansas City, and the Bills used that pick that the Chiefs traded with them to draft him. So that was hard for me. So yes, I would have tried to do it myself. I think you may have been able to get Worthy at 32, but you don't really know. You can't guarantee it. So you can't play the gamble situation. So I'm with you. We both think Lovett's going to make the roster, but he's not a pass rush threat. So you don't really have that true number 2 next to Jones, and you still really don't, unfortunately.
He's not a pass rush threat yet. I think that he can.
He's a senior, dude. He's a senior, like a super senior.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think that's there for him.
I'm trusting in the magic of Joe Cullen. Maybe I'm trusting too much.
If someone can do it, it's Joe.
Right. Thank you, Freak. Appreciate you, and good to see you, buddy. Danny, do you think Ellerslie will make the 53? Dan does not. I do. I think there's just something there, but again, I'm feeling very optimistic today, Dan.
You are. For me, with Nico, I think making the roster, I don't think that leaves room for LRZ, because I think Nico would take his role.
Yeah, and that's fair. That could be, and I don't mind that. The little Albert Wilson mixed in with Nico, like I could put him in the backfield and feel just fine. So I'm okay with that. Dan, I've been following for a long time, since the beginning. Appreciate you, buddy. And thank you for the hard work, both of you. Appreciate you, Dan. I
appreciate you, David.
Appreciate that. Scotty, can we get 125 likes? If you guys would hit the likes, we would appreciate that. Hell, share it on social media if you like as well. We'd very much like that.
Please do.
Nikki, thank you. If you would hit the like, that always helps us as well. Joe, you too. Appreciate it. We got some members here. We got a new one. Welcome in, Rob. I think you've been in here before, but welcome back if that's the case. I agree. Phil, we do think that that Lovett should make the roster. We're going to see where that goes. Brenda, thank you. Very much appreciate you in LFG. Someday I'm just going to scream LFG. It's going to be on a member show. I'm just going to warn you. So.
I'm probably going to do it on a Sunday night show. Because YouTube allows it now. And as long as I'm like 2 minutes or 3 minutes in, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna rip one, I promise.
I'm gonna live with it. We're gonna end up on Freak tonight. I know we're over time, folks. Thank you for spending your hard time with us. Do you guys think we might be able to keep Hollywood on a multi-year deal going forward? It's possible. There's a couple of things that got to happen. It's going to be tough. But let's be real, too. It looks great right now, but we're in training camp. We got to see what he actually does. Dan thinks he's going to be the hottest receiver on this roster, and if he is, then I think they will definitely have interest. I just don't know how much they're willing to pay.
Oh, I didn't say he'd be the hottest. I just I think he's going to be fun. Like I think that even Rashid could outpace him in yards, but I think it will look the same. So I think like in terms of the most dynamic being used as a deep field threat, intermediate threat, short yardage threat, he could do all of those things. So, and that's why I likened it to like the Juju Smith-Schuster role a little bit there. But I think it's going to require him to want to stay. It's not going to be, I think the Chiefs will have interest regardless, because I think he's going to play well again. I think this fits really well for him. But if, again, money talks, guys. If he wins the Super Bowl, he's like, hey, I got one. Oh, let's go play for some more money somewhere else now. That happens all the time. That's what Juju did. He got hurt, and it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be there. Quick round here for those of you. Some of our regulars just got in here. So Oregon, looks like Y will be the tight end we all hope for. We will keep our fingers crossed. I'm not ready to go there because I've been hurt. Okay, I'm sorry.
Fingers and toes. Fingers and toes.
Right. Do you guys think that who do you guys will be in the place of Snead? I think the lockdown will be McDuffie, and I think they'll leave him on the outside at the end of the day. Pono Ellers, make the roster per Clark. We'll make sure it happens because of the money. It does expand the reach of the Kansas City Chiefs across the world, so I do think that's important to him as well. And Callie, I just want to say hi, buddy. You made it for the end of the stream. Hope all is well out there in wildfire country out in Cali. So hope you're doing well.
Be safe out there, man.
And next time I'm out there, we'll try to hook up. I was in Northern Cali a couple weeks ago, but couldn't get together with anybody because of my schedule. So next time. You guys have a great night. Thank you for being here. We're going to hook you up. I'll have a piece tomorrow. Dan's on Wednesday. Gary's on Thursday. We're back in the swing. Welcome to camp. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.